podcast. I'm Brian Wayne, and this is a creator corner that I've been looking forward to doing for, well, it feels like way too long. I guess it's only been a couple of months since the first issue came out, but nevertheless, I'm excited. The moment is here. We've got 2/3 of the creative crew behind Metalshark Bro. What's up, guys? Tell us who you are.
I'm Kevin Cuffe, and I am the writer, co-writer, and co-creator of Metalshark Bro.
I'm Bob Frantz. I'm the co-writer and co-creator of Metalshark Bro.
Yeah, man. These are the brains that this book came from.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Yeah, Walter had a lot to do with the designs of the characters and stuff like that. Kevin and I just put words to paper, and we didn't even really do that. We just typed into a keyboard words to electronic documents.
So, yeah, you're not giving yourselves enough credit, man. I don't doubt for a second that Walter, played a huge part in this. There's no doubt about it. I actually did get to meet Walter at Denver Pop Culture Con this year.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a huge surprise. I met him on the Saturday, and I didn't see his name on the ticket at all. I walked by, I was like, holy fuck, is that Metalshark Bro? So I walked up to him on Saturday, and I said, dude, I promise you'll see me tomorrow. I'm gonna come stalk you. I'm gonna give you stickers. I'm gonna give you a book to sign. I have it framed on my goddamn wall. I showed up. So that's deep down. That's probably why he's not here. Like, God, this guy's fucking. He's a stalker.
No, Walter, he said he was busy, and Walter, I think, appreciates the fanfare and the accolades. He's just a little more reserved than the two of us are. We're kind of like it's like when you look at the evolutionary chart of reserved, there's like Walter, Kevin, and then me. I'm the most unreserved of the three of us. So
he's not lying, so that's fine. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, we're all on the same page then. Right on. Well, I want to talk about this book, Metalshark Bro.
Yeah.
And the timing is perfect because we're getting ready to fund Volume 2, which needs to happen. Before we get into this book, actually, I'm going to remind you guys several times throughout this show. I'm going to drill it into your brains that we got to go support this book, and it's not just for.
Well, at this point now, I mean, not to interrupt here, Mr. Wayne, but at this point now, I mean, it's pretty hard to do if your local comic shop doesn't have issue numero uno or the trade paperback in stock, then you ain't getting any more because this thing is sold out.
That's why you got to go to the Kickstarter and jump on that level.
That's right.
That's why you got to do that, son. I mean, there probably will be more trades, but at the moment, we're sold out at Diamond for issue 1 and for the trade. So, I mean, you're in rarefied air here, dude. So if you want this book and you've heard Brian talk about the wonderfulness of Metalshark Bro, you need to hop on the Kickstarter and pick this thing up, baby.
Yeah, because nobody knows when Diamond's going to stock it again. It says can reorder with confidence from a retailer standpoint because a retailer friend of ours showed us that it said it can be reordered, but they don't know when. Yeah. But with Metalshark Bro, the Kickstarter, you will have your Metalshark Bro Kickstarter Volume 1 and Volume 2 in your hands at the same time. All we got to do
is fun, baby. That's it.
And then you can binge read it.
Yeah, well, exactly. No, dude, this is a bingeable book for sure. I think it's perfect that you guys put out a teaser issue and then said, "Bam, here's the rest of it right here." I loved how that went down. It's not your typical marketing for a comic, and I think it just suits so well to this atypical book, man. This is not your typical comic book at all, man.
See, you'd be surprised because for every person that we meet that is into it and really likes it and even understands the concept of binge, there's like 4 more that hit us up and go, when's issue 2 coming out? Like, where's issue 2? Where's issue 2? I've even seen people on Instagram post about like, oh man, issue 2 of this book is going to be great. It's like, no, dude, this is 88 pages. Like there's not going to be an issue 2. There's issue 1 and then trade. And then with volume 2, it's volume 2. Like it's 88 more pages of fun. We're not trying to raise $24,000 to do, 24 pages of comics. Like we're not James Cameron over here, you know, like.
And to interrupt Bob real quick, that wasn't even our idea. That was Scout's idea to put out to have Metalshark Bro be the first book on their binge line. They said, hey, we want to do issue 1 then the trade, since you guys funded it through Kickstarter. Like the trade should be ready, you know, like it was done before issue 1 even came out. So then the trade followed the first issue, and there's a different cover for our Kickstarter trade versus our direct market trade. More for us than for Scout or anyone else. Scout was fine with us using the same cover, but we decided to differentiate the two because Walter had already done some artwork, and there were cover artworks that we all liked. So we couldn't decide between the two of the ones that came out. So we couldn't even take credit for that. That's more James Hake from Scout. That's more his brainchild, which was Binge. So we happened to be the first book on that, and it's been crazy to explain, but I'm glad that you're one of the people that liked it.
Well, I would imagine I'm one of many. I can't imagine a whole lot of people picked this book up and didn't like it. I think the issue is not enough people got it, and that's why it's not as big as it should be. That's what it comes down to, as there just wasn't enough people that knew about it. Scout, I mean, so something was pointed out to me by a retailer. He's showing me this previous book in the catalog, and he's going through and say, my local comic book store is the world's largest comic book store, Mile High Comics. So he's got a big bill. So he's going through and he says, dude, by the time I get to S's, I'm so tired. I don't know what's going on out there. And I did specifically say, start watching out for Scout, man. If you're going to get tired before S's, skip Q's or something and go to Scout. Make sure.
Well, the thing is too, I think a lot of that is on the independent creator, because as you were saying, there are so many books out there. There are so many people making comics. There's hundreds of companies making books every month. It's on the creator to kind of get off their duff and kind of push the book themselves. I have a friend who owns a comic shop called Local Heroes in Norfolk, Virginia. It's a great store. And this was when I was first getting into comics. Like as a writer, as a creator, not as like a fan. But he told me, he said, I was at my desk one day and the phone rang and I picked it up and it was Matt Fraction. And after many identity tests, if you will, Matt Fraction was calling this guy personally to tell him to order copies of Fear Itself, the Marvel event book that Matt did. And you're talking about a Marvel event book. Like, this is the biggest thing that Marvel does from the biggest company in the world who makes comics. So if Matt Fraction can do it, then you can do it. Call around, call shops, send out emails. Like, that's the way you're going to spread word about your book. Kevin and I spent hours upon hours of our weekends just calling comic shops, just making cold calls. Hey man, my name's Bob. I got a book coming out with Scout Comics. It's in previews this month. You should check it out. Give me your email address and I'll send you a 7-page preview. And we did a lot of that hustle. We did a lot of that work because the publisher can only do but so much, and they do so much by printing and by distributing the book. Most of it's up to the creator to get the word out about their book. So Kevin and I kind of take pride in doing that. And, I even go so far as to say, Kevin, is we enjoy the process of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we enjoyed talking to the retailers, and we also enjoyed going, like we also both did as many store signings as our schedules would allow, or the stores would allow, because like some stores don't want, nobody schmucks in there signing books like us. We're not Matt Fraction, but at the same time, we tried to bring that level of professionalism to what we're doing with Metalshark Bro, and we tried to call as many shops that would let us and come in and sign books if they were to have us. And we got lucky with that too, because a lot of retailers were very open to that idea, and we did as many as we could. Or that were in our radius to do during when I was off on my day job. Or
shoot, man, I even go out of my radius. I drove 10 hours on a Saturday to do a signing in Richmond, Virginia, just to do it, just to meet retailers and people that might like the book and potential customers. Because again, the retailers are the forgotten man in the comics, I guess, kind of cycle, because the retailers buy the books that push those books on the audience.
That's right.
An audience will never find out about a book if your retailer doesn't order the book. And if you can get in good with the retailer, then you can get in good with their customers and they'll push your book. So, I mean, it is not that we're here to like try to school people on how to distribute and, you know, better get the word out about their comics. But I mean, a lot of work went into the sales numbers that we were able to kind of scrounge up with Kevin and I, because I mean, we just hustle. Like, that's what you have to do. Like, there's no end to the hustle. It's not going to stop.
And for everyone that didn't order it, there's a one there's a shop out in like Utah, Ogden, Utah, I believe it is, called EBGB's, where that one of their shop employees, or he could even be the shop owner. His name is Zane, and he just like he loved the idea, so he just started like pushing it to his customers, and we are forever grateful to those guys because like that whole shop, EBGB's, because they were really into the book. They got they had a party. They had like a piñata with a shark on it. Like they went next level, like next level for Metalshark Bro. And like Bob and I were like really tickled to see it. Like we were texting back and forth about it and having a little chuckle at the fact that how great that shop was at promoting, you know, just in general, and the fact that they were going to go that far for us was kind of like very touching for us.
That's so awesome, man. It's I can tell you for sure. I got an in with Mile High Comics, a really good in with Mile High Comics. They're gonna be so on board with Volume 2. You're gonna have the world's largest comic store backing the shit out of this book. I'm excited, man. I really am. This is they missed this one. I walked in. I remember the Wednesday it came out because I missed it too. I just. Something popped up where it said Metalshark Bro. I said, that sounds like that was written for me. I got to fucking track this shit down. So I went on Wednesday and I went up to my guy and I was like, tell me you got it. And he was like, who's it by? Scout Comics. I was like, no. And he said, order me one right now. They were still able to, he got a couple on the shelves. Well, he forgot to set one aside for me. By the time I got in there 2 weeks later when they came in, there was one left on the shelf. That was it. So as quickly as he ordered the rest of them, they were gone.
Dang.
Before and get my copy that was supposed to be reserved for me.
I mean, you got to move fast, baby. It's Metalshark Bro. It's sweeping the nation. It's an electric sensation, Jack.
Shark stay swimming, baby.
Yeah, you know.
They're gonna order more copies for this volume too, man. We got to get this baby funded.
We're trying, dude.
We're doing what we can. What was that?
Let's talk about volume 1. I know I did a whole trade negotiations episode where I gave a quick rundown, but I know there's still some questions to be answered. I did it kind of quick, and I'm not gonna lie, I read it back to back real quick. I mean, not real quick and fast, but it was so good. I picked, and I knew and then by the time I got it, you know, I read it twice. I was like, shit, it's too late to record, so I'm gonna do this tomorrow. So yeah, some of the stuff went missing in my little pea brain. So that's we gotta fill in the gaps for the readers that
ask away whatever questions you have, Brian. We're here for it.
Yeah, dude, we got you.
Oh, dude. Well, the eyeball. What exactly? So was the eyeball the Satan goat's little minion thing before Metalshark Bro came around, or was
you'll find out more about Ira in Volume 2. That's a particular thing that we talked about Ira's backstory, because we didn't really give him one in the first one. We knew where he came from, but we didn't want to like bog the first issue down with like backstories about Ira when the focus there is about Metalshark Bro becoming a shark again. So we knew kind of where we were going with Ira and what he is, but to like do more with it in Volume 1 like leaves questions unanswered, but so we wanted to do more with it in like Volume 2 or explain it later. We weren't sure exactly it was going to be in Volume 2, but we knew it would be explained at some point.
Yeah, the easiest way to describe Ira's basically he was the familiar of the Goat Wizard guy. And if you're familiar with D&D or just like, I don't know, any kind of medieval kind of wizardry, if you will, a lot of masters of the arcane arts have like sidekicks almost. And he was the unwilling familiar of this goat wizard.
Yeah,
and
he was
so
more like Go ahead.
I love the fact that it came down to when he asked him a name, and he said, "I had the choice between a name or this hat." And he went,
Well, that was all Walter, because like when Walter was doing the character designs for Metalshark Bro, he for some reason, and he didn't even really have one. Why he just put like a little bowler hat on him, and he was like, "Do you guys mind?" And of course not. The book is ridiculous at its core.
it was one of my favorite.
A floating eyeball with wings and tentacles having a bowler hat. Yeah,
Uh,
so we just wrote in a little joke for it real fast. That's all.
Dude, you guys.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, go ahead.
Oh no! Well, you said the jokes, man. You guys came hard with the jokes constantly. I mean, you guys, and these aren't just your quick little book of jokes type of jokes. They're all just done so well, and every single thing. I laughed constantly throughout this book, and that's what's really going to keep me going on a book and give it reread abilities if it can make me laugh. And with as awesome as the story was, even though it on paper, you think if you were to explain it on paper, you might think, well, that's kind of cheesy. But then you you read it, and you see it visually, and you put it all together, and then you put all of the words in the way that you guys have done, and the combinations that you have, and the pacing that you did. And this really is a masterpiece of a book, man. And I think
masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
That's next level.
No, this is
You should be our agent or something. Like
I
you
like
are really
this guy.
pushing this thing, dude. Yeah, man. Like, I'm never gonna leave this podcast.
I mean, the best way we can explain the jokes is we stated it on other places before, but like Bob was driving home from a convention that we did together, and he heard something on the radio. He called me and told me about it, and for the next 10 hours, we basically this is the short version of that story. We basically just riffed on the idea that came from that, which was Sharks Love Metal. So we are just being stupid and seeing how hard we could make each other laugh at inopportune, really early times of the morning while we were both on way too much coffee. And that's pretty much where it comes from. Yeah.
It's perfect. And then Walter translated it so well too, man.
Yeah, and when you were speaking about the visual thing, Walter like crushed all the visuals with the jokes, and even added some of his own, like a Ira side eye. Like, he made a flying eyeball that doesn't have a face really. It's just an eye. He provided it with, through the pupil, the ability to emote, which to us was like this next level. Like that was like crazy, because there's things we knew he should be doing in the pages, or the face he should be making, and Walter just crushed that aspect of it. He found a way to make that happen and make you care about like a flying eyeball with bat wings and viscera. So I mean, that's in and of itself is a visual accomplishment, I would say.
And that further backs up my statement of a masterpiece, because it's not something that could be easily be done. And really, the artistic style, I couldn't think of any other type of artist out there that could suit this type of story in this manner. I mean, it's just the line work, the color work, everything, all of it. And I mean,
Walter's colors are pretty great. And if you look at Walter, like you met him, he doesn't wear blue. Like he's not into green. Like everything Walter has is purple and pink and vibrant and alive. So and his coloring very much suits his lifestyle. So it's a lot of fun. Like it gives the book a really unique vibe to it. So, and that's why we're excited about Volume 2, because a lot of the action of Volume 2 takes place in hell. Metalshark Bro goes back to hell for some secret reason that we can't say. But I mean, we probably could give you a little bit of a hint. But yeah, so Metalshark Bro goes back to hell. So you're going to see a lot more of that, like interesting color palettes. There's not going to be a lot of blue skies and clouds and things of that nature and rolling green hills. Like it's going to be more of the same kind of, technicolored madness
Weirdness.
In the background. Yeah, which is fun, which I think really adds to the spirit and fun of the book.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome, man. I am legit fucking excited about this. Even the last final pages. Every time I open up this book, no matter how many times I've seen all these pages, there's something in there that can make me laugh. The squinty eye at the back of Beezle Bro. It's just all of it, man. It's so great. Beezle Bro, man. Can we talk about Beezle Bro? Where the fuck did he come? I want to know how the conversation came up where Beezle Bro was created. Tell me that. I want to be a fly on that wall.
I mean, I can't it all kind of happened so quickly and it all came together so fast. Like there are pieces of it that I remember where Kevin, for example, said, "Oh man, we gotta can he have a floating eyeball?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. Like that sounds awesome." And so like that was very much like just a, "Hey, wouldn't this be neat? Let's work it into the story somewhere." Beelzebub, I mean, I can't really tell you how or where he came about, but we needed a worthy kind of adversary for a bro. So we just kind of figured, why not just have him be like a douche? And the idea was like David Spade and Guy Fieri had a baby, and then like throw in a little bit of the bad guy from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And then you've got Beelzebub. And that's kind of how it came about. Like it was all just very simple. And then, it made one of us giggle, and then we just kind of went with it. So that was
that's how all the jokes. That's how all the jokes evolved. Was how hard are we laughing at our stupidity? And it's a weird gauge to use because in comics you never know if your jokes are going to land. Like you just put them out there and hopefully they catch on. That's why when you were saying the jokes are rapid fire, we tried to keep it to like a few jokes a page. That way, if one didn't land, the next one does. So when we were talking about it back and forth in our dialogue, like. If the joke was not as funny, that's where Chaz came in, and he would be like, "Yeah, like I mean, you guys could aim higher on this one, or this could happen here, or let's fix this, or this whole part here doesn't work. Think bigger, And Chaz is great for that exact reason because he always gets us to think about our stories outside of the context that we were thinking in them when it's just the two of us. So.
Oh man, well, dude, I keep gushing about every time I just open the book to the fucking goddamn there's donuts.
Well, did you catch the cool little Easter eggs in there? There's some Easter eggs in the book.
There are a few.
There are? I didn't know that.
Off the top of my head, man, I'm drawing a blank, but I know that it was a constant.
We'll go to the page where people get killed, and then if you go a few pages past that, past the Ninja Nuns, there is a page where all of us that work on the book die.
All right, I passed the Ninja Nuns. The Ninja Nuns for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Kevin gets run over by a car. I get tied to some train tracks.
Oh shit.
Walter gets chainsawed, and Chaz gets his suit poisoned.
Yeah, Chaz has a very dignified death, which is cool. And that was something that Walter did because we left in, murder scenes for the Kickstarter backers because that was a tier, have Metalshark Bro kill you. And it's still a tier now, but it's like, Metalshark Bro and I will beat you up as like an angel or a demon. But so it was a tier in the book, but we had enough space for everything. So Walter just kind of did that all on his own, and it was great. It was just super fun.
It was a super surprise because I was working and he posted it up in, we have a chat that we talk about everything in, and he posted it up in the chat. And before that, neither of us knew about it. So it was just there. And
it was great.
And then we were like, this is awesome. We're going to leave that in because not everybody is going to know that that's what's happening. And it's fun to tell people like, yeah, we die too. You're not the only ones that die. We die too.
It's so perfect. How did you guys all meet each other? How do you guys know each other?
Kevin and I met through a mutual friend through Drew Moss a couple of years ago at a comic con. So that was cool. And then Kevin and I just hit it off because we had a similar sensibility. We were kind of at the same place in our comic career. We were both writers. We were both kind of struggling to get things done. We were struggling to really get eyes on our projects and stuff. So we just figured like, hey, two heads are better than one. So we just started writing together. Kevin actually knew Walter from just comics, man, just comics Twitter. And didn't you like get him to do you a commission at a show or something?
I did. Well, I had bought Walter. Walter has done 2 books on his own, which are amazing too. One called Cubicles and one called Shiver Bureau.
Shiver Bureau.
And I had Shiver Bureau, and he had given me a Kickstarter at the show, but then he mailed me one to his Kickstarter, and I said, hey, you mailed me an extra book. He said, don't worry about it. Go ahead and keep it. So I thought that was really nice of him. So I gave it to Bob, and I said, I really like this guy's art. Like, it's amazing. Like, we should try and talk him into doing something for us. And then I noticed he was doing stuff for other writers. Like I saw he did Is Nana the Were Spider for Greg Anderson Illicet, and I loved that book. And a part of that was because of the art, and part of that was because of the writing. And it's the perfect marriage when you get those two things in a comic to like sync up like that. And same thing with Shiver Bureau. I really liked the dynamic style of his artwork in Shiver Bureau, his use of color. So I was like, hey man, my favorite book out is Rumble. So I love Rumble. Can you draw me a Rathrak? And he was like, yeah, totally. And he did me a Rathrak, and it's one of my favorite commissions that I have. And so I paid him to do the Rathrak, and then we kept talking. And we continued to have conversations back and forth. And then he got to meet Bob at Heroes the year when we were going to kickstart Metalshark Bro, because we they hadn't met in person yet. So like that's where all three of us kind of came together, and Walter realized like, and we had to actually tell Walter like, you know, hey, as soon as you come on board with this, it's yours too. It's just as much yours as it is ours, because he wasn't used to working writers. Like he's like, oh, I'm used to work for hire, just being work for hire. And then we were like, no. Like that's not how we do things. Like we want you to own a part of this too, because you're coming up with all the visuals that go into this. And Walter was so on board
top
with
billing, man. Top billing on the book.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, to be fair, I mean, both of us agree. Bob and I agree about this distinction in comics. I mean, the artist does the heavy lifting for you. So, like, without a great artist, without somebody like pulling us as writers up a hill, you get nowhere. So that's why he's got top billing, because he's doing most of the hard work. There's no denying that. You know, we both know that. So going into that, we know. Yeah, we might have these ideas, but Walter makes all the ideas better and contributes more ideas to them. So why wouldn't we want him to be a co-creator? Because we did, you know, and he wanted to be. So it was a perfect marriage right there.
I love it, man. That's perfect. Shit. What else, dude? I don't know. I could talk about this book all damn day.
There's more Easter eggs in there that you missed, Brian.
Yeah. Well, tell me some more, man. Tell me.
Sure. Looking when they're in the belly of the big dragon.
Okay, here I am now, actually. All
okay.
Right.
So you can find fun things in there. I don't want to say what, but you can find fun things in there from various pop culture references just in the belly of the dragon. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm after the belly.
I'll give you a couple, like the Eye of Thundera is in there.
The what now? Sorry, I missed that.
The Eye of Thundera. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I don't want to say what it's from because we're not trying to get sued for it being in there. But I mean,
yeah, I know. I got you there.
We did that as a nod without mentioning where anything was from. But if you look around, you'll see things like a proton pack or Eye of Thundera, but you have to look through and find them, like a speak and spell. So they're there, but you have to find them.
I love it, man. I love it.
And we haven't really said anything about that on too many pods, just because like we figure most people don't care. But if you care, then if you look and take your time looking through all that beautiful artwork on there, there's little hidden things in there.
Oh, it's beautiful. There's that's the thing, is that it gives the book so much more readability, because you can miss something because there's so much to look at, and then you hear something like, oh, did you know about this? And then just like this, and now I want to go through. I'm probably going to read it again tonight for a third time, to be honest.
Well, that's wonderful.
It's perfect. There's
and it's cool because you only have to buy it once, so it's not like you get charged every time you read it. So that's cool.
That's
right?
true.
That's a good point, man. It's a damn good point. There's just there's so much in this that I like. The bloodiness, man. You guys really, as fun as the artistic style is, you guys don't hold back on the gore. Beelzebub getting his heart ripped out at the end. That is, I'm telling you, every time there's at least one posterizable panel and every single page, man. And if not 1, 2, or 5 or whatever, it's the comedy is there all the way. I keep repeating myself because it's so fucking good.
I mean, it was a lot. The cool part is like I'm glad it resonates with you and with other people who dig the book, because it was really fun to make. Like, it was a fun process. Kevin and I had fun coming up with the initial idea. Like, every day seeing Walter kind of do character designs or new pages was fun to do. It was fun to be a part of. Like, Walter really enjoyed himself. I'm speaking for him, but I'm imagining so, because we're doing a second one.
Yeah, right.
And working with Walter was great, and he brought a lot of his own ideas to the book as well. Like the whole scene in the book with the whole jaw sequence in the book was all Walter's. So I mean, like it was just a really fun and involved process. Like it was just we were going with the best idea in the room to make the best book that we could. And granted, it's not like it's the deepest of subject matter, but we still had a lot of fun making it. And the fact that people enjoy it as much as they do is humbling and fun. It's the most fun I've ever had making comics, and that's why the Volume 2 Kickstarter is so important to me and the team, because we had this much fun making the first one. We want to continue having fun making the second one and the third one, and to kind of keep going. And as long as we have Metalshark Bro ideas, and to me, Metalshark Bro, Kevin and I have talked about this, and he always says, why does everything have to be Bugs Bunny? I said, well, because Metalshark Bro could be Bugs Bunny, not in tone and subject matter, but in location. Bugs Bunny was a bullfighter. Bugs Bunny was in space. Bugs Bunny was in the Old West. Bugs Bunny and Metalshark Bro, you can put him in those situations and it still works because it's just there's no end to the absurdity of the book.
Right.
And that's I immediately recognized going through, especially with the way it ended. You know that there's going to be more, and you know that it's not going to be the same, but it's still going to be just as kick-ass, if not more kick-ass. There's an endless amount of possibilities with this. What were you
Yeah, and
gonna
it was
say?
cool. And like when we were coming up with like how to do the sequel, Walter kind of left it open with that last page because we talked about like, hey, well, maybe if we want to do one, we'll just throw a little secret out. We'll throw an open ending into it. So we did. And what we were saying was there's got to be a way to get Metalshark Bro to come back, because when it's over, he's swimming away into the ocean, and like that's all he ever. Yeah, and that's all he ever wanted. But there has to be something to kind of tie him to this reality. And after kind of kicking ideas around, the main thing Kevin and I came up with was Ira. Ira is the thing that kind of that tethers him to this world. So we had to come up with something to do with Ira. So we did. So like Ira is the I guess the accelerator of the second volume that brings Metalshark Bro back into the fold, because friendship. That's what Metalshark Bro is really all about. It's about keeping your words and being a good friend
And bromance.
and that was Beelzebub's problem. Like he wasn't a good friend. He didn't keep his word. Friends don't lie, man, to quote season 1 of Stranger Things. Like that's what it is here, dude. Friends don't treat each other that way. And Metalshark Bro and Ira are true friends.
You could see that right off the bat, man. As soon as the first time they're in a panel together, you know that it's gonna. I mean, that's
they're bros.
Yeah.
Oh, I dig it.
And also, but to expound upon what Bob said about the way that we came about ideas, like we had, it looked like when we were doing the first one that we might get to stretch goals, so we panicked for a second because we weren't sure that we were going to get there, just like we aren't sure that we're going to get there on this one. But that's part of the way that Kickstarter goes. And so we're like, okay, well, hopefully we get there, because we had all these crazy ideas. And we're like, well, what are we going to offer for stretch goals? So like, let's do some shorts, because we had other artists that are interested in drawing shorts that they wanted to do. So one of them was one of the pinup artists. If you look at the pinup gallery, if you look at Chris DeBari's one, he wanted to do a short. So he was like, hey, just write it and I'll just draw it. Like, I really want to just draw this character a lot, like, because it's a lot of fun. So we started working on a short with Chris, and we got a couple pages in to where he could start drawing it, and he started it, but we didn't make the stretch goal to be able to do more pages because we only had enough to print what we had originally planned for. So for this one, we're hoping we get to do some of those additional stories. Like they're really fun things, like Ira at the beach, Metalshark Bro and Ira going grocery shopping. So they're little fun, stupid things that we threw together to show how absurd this ridiculous idea can be and where we can set it. And it literally, like Bob said, lends itself to everywhere.
Oh man, that's so perfect. And all through the power of Satan's magic. It's
true. It's true.
It is
what it came down to. I love the way. I mean, the initial setup too of issue 1. I mean, I've read issue 1 5 times now, because I read issue 1 3 times before volume 1 came out.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
The funny part is like that was a lot of that was Chaz because we had it stretched out a lot longer. Like we had that opening scene where like the scene before he got eaten by the shark, there was, more kind of like weird references to things, and it was a longer scene. And Chaz was like, "Look, let's just get to it." So we got in what, a page, it was over,
Yeah.
So because the people want to see a book about Metalshark Bro, they want to see the shark, they want to see this guy, like that was the compelling image, like this shirtless dude holding a guitar sword, getting ready to kill stuff. Like, let's get to that part. And so as creators, as the writers of the book, we're like, yeah, let's get to that. Like, if you're telling a big important story, then yeah, sure, set it up. But I mean, we did the setup in a page and we were good to go. You didn't miss anything, so it was for the better. So here we are. And it was super fun.
Well, it
And
was perfect because it's metals and metals fast, so you got to pace that shit fast. And
Yep.
I mean, it does. The name suits it so well. I'm not lying when I say it's a masterpiece. It's all just one big culmination of perfection, all rolled into one. And it's got everything that I dig, dude. I love metal. It's fucking Shark Week, by the way. How perfect is that? I just really
Yeah.
it is Shark Week, right?
It was Shark Week last time we did the Kickstarter. It was semi done on purpose last time. This time it's totally an accident.
It's perfect. See, it's
Um,
got it all, man. It's got it all.
and also to feed into what Bob was saying about that, the whole thing is as weird as and quickly as we're introduced to the band members, we have been asked questions about like what did he play in the band and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like,
Yeah.
it's so odd that some of the questions people have about this book, and it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, a big thing that's come up is the Ninja Nuns. Like, I want to know more about them, so we're gonna come up with like a Ninja Nun story. Like,
Right on.
Kevin and I have kind of come up with the idea that the Ninja Nuns are basically Charlie's Angels for the church.
For the church,
and the preacher guy, he's Bosley, and we kind of go from there. So it just, I mean, there's just so much stuff we can do and things we want to do with it. But the only way we can really get that done is if we fund the Kickstarter for the second volume. So that's what we're doing. We're pumping it hard. We're moving it. We've got 15 days left. I'm not really sure when this podcast is going to come out. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I don't know. But we're under 2 weeks, and we're halfway at our goal. So we're just going to keep pushing and strolling. We've got some really great rewards that we've really been happy about. The Kickstarter exclusive art book is a really great reward. People seem to really dig that because the first time we did the book, and even this time as well, people just really dig the design of the character. Artists really just kind of get into it. They like it. So they were just giving us work, like Christian DeBari, we mentioned before, and our buddy Jamie Jones and Drew Moss, and Josh Hood, who did Kevin's favorite book of all time. Yeah.
Josh Hood did We Can Never Go Home with Matt Rosenberg. And
so
my favorite book.
Yeah, so we did. So, we got all these great people to give us they just gave us work because they wanted to draw the character. So it was so organic and fun and awesome. So we've just been we said, you know what,
lucky. Yeah.
Let's put them all together, because last time we offered them as pinups, prints, and we're like, you know what, let's just give them away. Like, we'll just put them all in a book because they're all so awesome. So let's do that, and here we are. It's been really fun, man. It's been great. Like, people really love this book. Like, the people who get it really get it, and that's what makes me happy. And the people that don't get it really don't get it, and fuck them. Like, I'm not worried about them.
Exactly where it is, dude. Those are people that I just assume not affiliate with. If you don't understand Metalshark Bro, we probably can't have a
well, the weird part is there's really not a lot to understand. It's just a matter of, like, it's just not their cup of tea. And I mean, and that's the reality of life. Not everything is for everyone, and Metalshark Bro is definitely not for everyone, but for those people who it is for, they really dig it, and we're grateful for it. So, and we just got to find you, and you got to back this Kickstarter, and we can make this second book, baby.
Yeah, man. Part of the problem we feel like we're having with the Kickstarter right now is the people who backed the first one don't even know that there's a second one available at this point. And that seems to be our struggle for this book, is that through Kickstarter and Facebook algorithms, they've been kind of left out of the loop somehow, and we aren't sure how. But
we're working on it.
Yeah, but we're trying to figure out how to get the people who are into the first one, if they're into the second one, to back it. If they're into seeing more of that, to do that. because some people might not have gotten what they expected. I think some people expected a more like serious, like sort of comic, but we wanted to just have
I don't
fun.
know how anybody would see the title Metalshark Bro and think, oh yeah, this is going to be serious. Like, there's no way. If you went into that title with that thought in your head, that's your own fucking stupid fault. Like,
I would totally agree with you.
You know, like that's on you. Like you're the failure of your own expectations, friend. When you see a book called Metalshark Bro with the floating eyeball,
you're not gonna get touched by an angel. You know?
Yeah, you're not getting you know, mouse. You're getting fucking a shark killing people for Satan. Like that's what it is, dude.
You're getting ridiculousness on 11. The volume goes up to 11 on the ridiculousness. So I mean, and that was just the basic premise that we had, was how much more ridiculous. Where's the line, and how much further can we stretch it? And how much
at this point now, though, I mean, I think Kevin, I think you and I have talked about this ad nauseum. Like, I don't think there really is a line. Like the Metalshark Bro universe can kind of sustain almost anything. The level of believability is so high. It's not like you're watching Die Hard and you go, "I'll get the fuck out of here." Like, there's no way he could do that. Like, no, with Metalshark Bro, like anything is possible because we've set the tone, like we've set the standard for it. So yeah, anything is basically possible. He could get dropped off in a weird D&D realm. He's going to go to a whole nother, ether world where he's fighting skeleton ghosts and goat goblins and demons. Like, we can do anything we want. So we're just going to try to push it as far as we can, you know?
Anything is possible through the power of Satan, dude. And that's
true.
Fucking true.
I mean, it probably sounds, pretty bad to some people, but I mean, if you think about it, that's how the whole thing started. Otherwise, it's just some dude that fell into the water and got ate by a shark. If it wasn't for Satan, there's no backstory to it. So
but the thing is, though,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Satan in this one just seems like a cool dude. Like, it's not like your pitchfork and like twirly mustache and he with the long tail kind of Satan. It's like Satan's a relatable guy. Like, he's got problems. Like, yeah, he's a businessman. He's got stuff going on, and he doesn't need all this ruckus from the church and from this shark man killing stuff. So he needs even taken care of.
Nephew,
Yeah. He's just some guy trying to live his life, bro. That's what Satan is in this book. Like, he's a very sympathetic character.
He's got energy drinks he's got to promote,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his own line of energy drinks he's got to get out there. Like, people got to buy Satan his energy drinks because, I mean, we just kind of paint him as this guy who's been given bad press by the church, but he accepts his role in that, and he even in some way is partnered with the church for that role. Like, he's playing a role, and he knows it, and he's okay with it. Like, that's the way we've tried to present Satan. Like, okay, well, that's what my job is. Like, so he's kind of like Don Draper on Mad Men is a good example of how we kind of portray Satan. This is my job, so I'm going to go do it. And at times I'm going to do it in the way that you would expect me to do it, and at times I'm not going to do it in the way you would expect me to do it.
Yeah, because we had people ask us, like, is Metalshark Bro evil? Like, no, he's just a victim of his circumstances. Like, he's kind of thrusted into the situation, and he's dealing with it in the most capable way he can. Like, he wants to be a shark again, so he's an apex predator. He's a great white shark. Like, that's what they do. Right. They that he's just doing what nature has intended for him to do. But then he becomes like a very lovable, kind of fun character throughout this process, which is kind of the way we saw him too, just evolving as just this kind of silly thing who has it's like a buddy cop film, Yeah. It's an odd couple. It's Felix and Oscar,
Mm-hmm.
It's Metalshark Bro and Ira. Like, that's the dynamic we were going for.
Well, yeah, I mean, they even point out the hipster joke with the bowler hat and everything. Fucking, so when you got a hipster and a metal head, like, that is it's two positive magnets. It's usually not your typical type of partnership.
See, the weird thing is, I don't even think of Metalshark Bro as like a metalhead or anything. He's just kind of a dude. Like, he's just some guy on some quest. I mean, he's an everyman, He just happens to have weird nips and purple jeans. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just who he is. That's just what he's doing,
His name is just Metalshark Bro because Beelzebub thought it sounded cool. So that's That's the
He
only
doesn't even,
reason.
yeah, he really didn't even get to choose his own name. Like he's just Metalshark Bro because he was deemed so by his evil creator. So, I mean, again, he's just a victim of his circumstances throughout all this. And he just wants the joy and the pleasure of being a shark again. So that's the way the tale kind of works. And he'll go through any adversary, be it goat wizard or demon donut or, lord, like orc lord of a realm, and finally Beelzebub himself, so it's cool. It's a really fun read. It's quick, it's fast paced. And we've had people ask us like, why is this thing so quick? And well, like you said, it's because it's metal, and two, because it had to be, because we were working on a limited budget here that we crowdfunded. So it's like, there's no time to dick around. Like there's no reason to dick around. Let's just bang, bang, bang. Let's get this thing out. Let's just throw everything against the wall and see what sticks and have fun with it.
I'd say the majority of it stuck, man. That's for sure. It all stuck with me.
I mean,
you just gotta get it in there.
well, also that's how the evolution of 2 went. Like for like what if basically 2 evolved from the question, what if Metalshark Bro wasn't the only one in these circumstances, but the reaction to the circumstances is the opposite on the spectrum. So what
because like as much as Metalshark Bro hated his creator, there are other creatures out there that love their creator. And that's where Hamzig, who's the main bad guy of book 2, comes in. He looked at Beelzebub as like a father figure. So when Metalshark Bro took that from him, he vowed revenge against the man who killed his father. So it's almost got like an old Western vibe to it, and it's the island of misfit bros is the idea of like the island of Dr. Moreau or the island of misfit toys from the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon. Like Beelzebub made all these things, and Satan didn't have the heart to get rid of them all because he loves his nephew in a weird way. And like, he didn't want to hurt his feelings by just throwing his creations in the trash. So he just kind of put them all on an island, never to be seen or heard from again. But, Hamzig kind of learned how to rule and dominate this island. And now all the creatures there are under his control. So Metalshark Bro eventually is going to have to tussle with this entire island of odd creatures and circumstances and situations. So it's
weird
just,
places
it's just building upon the absurdity of it all, and it's all kind of he may not be around, but the world of Beelzebub is still very much pulling Metalshark Bro strings, if you will.
Much like the Metallica album Master of Puppets.
Yes, very much so. Without the heroin, but yes. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's a fun time. And like, just coming up with ideas and just riffing for the second book. Because originally Kevin and I wanted to just kill him off, but then we were like, you know what, let's keep him around, because if people like the book, we can always do more of it, because we're having so much fun doing it. So let's just do it. So that's our attitude very much with this book, is like, let's just do it. And if unfortunately, let's say we don't fund Metalshark Bro Volume 2, then we already have ideas to do like a Hellboy in Mexico style Metalshark Bro book of shorts, like 40 pages of different short stories that we want to tell. So there's plenty of mileage left in the character. It's just, with the second Kickstarter, have we bit off more than we can chew? We've got like 2 weeks left. We'll find out, and we'll play it by ear.
What I was gonna say is we need to know that the people that wanted to support it are going to support it.
Oh no, I think people want the second volume of it. I don't think that's the issue. I just think it's a matter of getting them and bringing them on board. I mean, you don't sell 3,500 copies of an issue 1 and sell out your trade at Diamond if people aren't interested in your title. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't happen. So it's just a matter of like trying to find the audience out there, because is there much of a crossover between the Kickstarter audience and the regular comic shop going audience? Like, I don't know, like, where do they meet? And let's try to find that and bang it out, So we're working. It's a process, but you never know.
Because the thing about the regular comics audience versus the Kickstarter audience is I'm not sure regular comics fans understand how Kickstarter works. It's been one of the most frequently asked questions that we've gotten during this campaign. Like, oh, I'm going to back it when I get paid. To make a long story short, but the way Kickstarter works is you don't have to pay anything if it doesn't fund, and you also don't have to pay anything if if you have you have to pay if it funds, and if your funds are there on the 16th when the Kickstarter ends, that's when the money comes out, not before. So you can back, a $200 tier, but just make sure you have the money in the bank account. Otherwise, it's going to ding you, and then say, hey, you don't have enough funds for this, and then it's going to wait 10 days.
Baby. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get the book, and then it's going to wait 10 days and ding you again for the fund. So, and then if you don't have it that time, it sends us a message and say, hey, we weren't able to get that.
And if we don't fund, it doesn't matter. Like if we don't fund, then your money doesn't leave your account and it's no big deal. So it's just Kickstarter is its own kind of wonderful thing because you can work on things to get projects done. And, the only reason why we're here in the first place is because we were able to crowdfund the first book. So we're looking to crowdfund the second. So go to Kickstarter.com, search Metalshark Bro, or just go to MetalsharkBro.com. It'll come right up, and there's your page, and bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. There it is, Metalshark Bro Volume 2. You can get it. You can get on that train, baby.
Lots of great rewards, like this wonderful T-shirt. You can get this wonderful T-shirt right here, Metalshark Bro T-shirt on there. You can get pins.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys got some pretty badass pins. You can go through and upgrade your tier before you can, right? Yeah,
yes. You can also go through and a la carte your tier, which if you go under the campaign part of the Kickstarter, right there, Walter was kind enough to draw a little things next to each one, so you understand how much it costs to add things that you want that aren't included in that particular tier. So if you back a tier that doesn't have a T-shirt, for example, and you'd like a T-shirt, T-shirts are $20. So you add $20 to your tier, and when the surveys come out from the Kickstarter being funded, then it will ask you what you added to your tier, so you get your T-shirt as well. So that way you can get the extra stuff. It's almost like having an a la carte menu in front of you and going, oh, I'd like this, but I also want this. And that's how you do that. You'd have to go through and add the money through the thing. So it's a little bit more work on the buyer's end, but in order to get you what you want, we've tried to disassemble it in a certain way to where you can get everything that you want for the campaign. If you want certain things that aren't available on a tier that you back, they're available underneath the campaign menu. So you have to look at that as well.
Right. Well, you're definitely going to see a few more bucks add up on your Kickstarter after I'm done recording, because I'm going to go through and make some changes to my. I need some pins and stuff, man. That's for sure. But yeah, no shit. Fucking everybody, whether you're into metal or you're not into sea creatures or whatever, this book's fucking hilarious, man. It's even if
you're just into Satan or sharks or metal, it's fine.
This is for you, definitely. If you're into
metal, it's for you too, because the book is very metal in its spirit. We don't make that many metal culture references, but there are some. They're there. Just like in the second book, we try to give a nod to metal with the main antagonist. That's where Hamzig's name comes from, as metal. So it's one of those things where we decided that different things in here should be homages to metal, because Bob did not grow up listening to metal. I did, but at the same time, Bob gets into all this metal, and so lots of things come from things like the Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time, thing. We think that's awesome and stuff. The art of metal albums when I was a kid is kind of one of the inspirations for doing this book in the first place, because Bob was saying wouldn't it be dope to have a Frazetta Metalshark Bro painting? And it totally would. And during the first Kickstarter, Francesco Iaquinta kind of did that sort of thing, and I was like, dude, that would look dope on a conversion band. And that's how that's what it's all about. Would that look dope on a conversion band?
Oh man. Well, you guys definitely have me. You gave me some insight on what I'm going to be expecting on Volume 2. I know that you shot me a couple of teasers too, Kevin, on some characters that are going to be popping up. I don't know if I'm at liberty to discuss them now, but I know
Hamzig, dude. Hamzig's going to be great.
I know there was a certain gator that was mentioned.
Oh, yes.
Meth Gator, yeah, dude. Meth Gator is awesome, and we saw that news story pop up right when the Kickstarter funded, and I just shot a message in our group. It's yeah, we need a Meth Gator immediately, and Walter just banged it out, and boom, we have a Meth Gator. It's so much fun.
It's it's legit 7 minutes.
He was hang on, and then I was oh, he needs hair, so then Walter added hair, and then we had Meth Gator. It's just that story is just perfect for the Metalshark Bro universe. It's just one of those things that just works. It was a news story. Some sheriff somewhere was like, don't flush your meth down the toilet or the gators are gonna get it. And we're like, this is wonderful. Like, here we go. Because that's how Metalshark Bro started. It was a weird news story. Like scientists put speakers in water to gauge the fish's reaction, and come to find out sharks dig metal. And then that was it. That got the ball rolling. So it's all inspired by real life events like those Law and Order episodes that are ripped from the headlines.
Fucking science, man. This is science right here. So if you're into science, this is your book, man.
That's a stretch, but we can.
Well, no, because we do mention the father of modern aerospace and rocket technology in the book too. Yeah.
Yes, it's there.
Because Ira mentions him. I forget the guy's name, but yeah, that took a Google because I was like, this will be a funny joke. And then there's even like the old school like editor note, like so and so is the father of modern rocket technology. Impress your friends at parties. Like that was all written for the audience. So we had a good time making it, and that's why we want to make some more. And that's why it's important that people go to Kickstarter.com or just go to MetalsharkBro.com and back the book so we can make volume 2, because we really want to make it. We really want to do it. And thank you for having us on your podcast, man.
Thanks.
We had a really wonderful time. Brian, I don't know when we're ever going to get out to Denver. We've been talking about getting out there for like Denver PopCon, but it's a long, long way from Virginia and from Ohio respectively. But if we ever do, maybe we'll definitely have to hook up and have a nice time.
Oh, for sure, man. And like I said, I've got some ins at the world's largest comic book store. We do fucking events all the time. Free comic book day. We have artists come out and do signings and stuff. So there need not be an occasion. Just come out. If you're ever in Denver, I can get you a signing. I promise you, I can get you a signing at Mile High.
Nice.
No, that'd be great. But I mean,
nice.
we need to get a plane to get us out there. And unfortunately, there's not like a Metallica / Metalshark Bro plane.
The Iron. Maybe we get Steve Dickinson or Bruce Dickinson to pick us up in the Iron Maiden plane and drive us.
I would be Facebook living the whole thing.
He's a real pilot. Like he flies the Iron Maiden
That's
plane. Like there's like a documentary about it. So we got to watch that.
I mean, some of the ideas in the first one came from another documentary that Bob could mention, because I had never seen it before he mentioned it.
No, it's not a documentary. Well, it's a concert film. A lot of them, like some of the ideas came just from watching Song Remains the Same. Like I love Led Zeppelin. I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. The concert film Song Remains the Same is one of the triumphs in like unnecessary filmmaking, because it's filmed basically a 2-day concert in like 1975 at Madison Square Garden when Zeppelin was like at their peak of their powers. And then they were so rich and so powerful and so famous, they all just said, hey, we want to do little vignettes in between the songs. So like while the music is playing, like there'll be these weird feature film style sequences where Robert Plant is like a dashing swordsman, like fighting people with his rapier and riding on the front of a boat like the scene in Titanic. And Jimmy Page is climbing a mountain and he meets a weird wizard. That sounds familiar, right? Like that's right out of Metalshark Bro. Because I've seen Song Remains the Same so many times. Like, dude, we're stealing that. Like that goes without saying. So, so it was just so much fun to do. I love Metalshark Bro. I love the book. I love the character. I want to do more of them. So go to Kickstarter.com and back Metalshark.
Please back it. Please.
Yeah. And if you can, go to your comic shop and see if they have it. They might be able to get a copy of it and you can read it and you can see what we've all been gushing over for the past hour.
Yeah. No, it's worth it. I mean, it's serious. Just flip through the book. You're going to laugh. Just open it up to any page. You'll find something to laugh at, man. And if you're not into laughing at shit, then fucking, I don't want anything to do with you. So,
there you go.
There it is.
Dude, guys, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to doing this again after Volume 2 is out and successful and sold out and back in
Kickstarter. We're praying to Satan. Well, not praying to Satan per se, because we haven't done any like.
I really don't believe in anything. So I mean, like, we're just putting it out there. Positive thoughts and positive deeds, man. Like,
yes.
We're just putting positivity out in the world, so hopefully we can get some back. So yes, Metalshark Bro Volume 2. It's coming. We're working on it. So
it is, man. It is.
Kickstarter.com, or just go to MetalsharkBro.com and you can get your hands on Metalshark Bro Volume 2.
And I'm going to put a link in the description too. It's going to be the first thing you see. It's
That sounds wonderful, man. Thank you so much. And
best.
again, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for, dudes like yourself, Brian. So thank you very much for supporting the book. Thank you very much for championing our cause and telling people how wonderful the book is. It really means a lot. And so thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's well deserved, guys. I appreciate you, and we'll be in touch for sure. I'm gonna keep. I look at the Kickstarter every day to see how close I am.
Hey, me too.
Oh wow, that's a coincidence. It's something all three of us have in common.
I just stare at it and try to make the number change with my brain, but it hasn't worked yet.
Well, it's gonna.
Professor X powers haven't happened yet.
Yes.
It's gonna get a little bit of a bump as soon as I get off, and this podcast is gonna be airing here within, I don't know, a day or two tops. We'll see. I'm probably
good,
gonna it might even go up tonight. Fuck it, we'll see. But yeah, right on, guys. Thank you again, Bob and Kevin. We'll get Walter on next time. You guys, thank you so much for this beautiful, amazing, and I'm gonna say it again, masterpiece.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you, man.
You're very welcome, guys. Y'all take care. Cheers.
You too.